Hey folks, Lemonade here, and today I'll be bringing you through a quick look of our latest release here at Pwnage, the Zenblade 65 Hall Effect keyboard. The time has finally come. Starting with the outside packaging, you'll find it in this leather-like material with the Zenblade 65 and the Pwnage logo sitting prominently in the center. And as we open it up here, you're going to first see a layered piece of foam that we're gonna get out the way, and then you're gonna see the keyboard front and center. And of course, we're going to get into the keyboard very shortly, but let's just continue with the context of the box. So I'm going to set this aside for a moment. And at the bottom of the box here, you're going to find your USB-C braided cable, a set of grip tape, and a keycap holder. In terms of the grip tape, we included a set for those who want to add different texture and grip to certain keycaps like your WASD keys. But also this grip tape can obviously be used for your mouse. For example, it's the same material as our upgraded grip tape found on the Platinum Stormbreaker mouse. And just one last friendly reminder, if you don't necessarily like the included USB-C cable, Pwnage does offer coiled braided USB-C cables on our website in various different colors here. I have the black that I'll be displaying today, but we also have stuff like teal and a bunch of other colors. And now we come to the star of the show itself, the Zenblade 65. Made from a solid, thick block of CNC'd aerospace grade aluminum, it's incredibly dense, weighty, premium feeling, but also contributes to its stunning sound profile. More on that later. In terms of keycaps at the time of purchase, you'll have two options. Both are thick PBT keycaps. This is our double shot option, but we will also have a shine through option if you prefer to have more of the RGB effect come through. Beyond those two options, we will have a set of white with black font keycaps and a gradient gray set available for purchase. Now coming back to the design, we wanted to have some association with our pyramid receiver of the Stormbreaker. So we went with this very angular and strong look, but we tried to keep the overall presentation pretty minimalistic. And that goes for the colorway as well. It's a raw aluminum, and the black keycaps should match with any setup it's dropped into. And of course, we know enthusiasts prefer to add their own personal touches like custom keycaps, so we wanted the shell to accentuate whatever color you chose. Now from this top-down view, you can see that we made two angular cuts down the center line of the keyboard. The bottom obviously allowing for a more natural angle for your thumb to reach the spacebar, and the top was mirrored because of the unique symmetry provided to the overall design. On the side profile, you can see the aggressive nature come through even more with its heightened angular cut. You will also notice we seamlessly created a natural grip point on the side here to allow for easy adjustment of the keyboard when picking it up. Around the rear here is where we show off its explosive and competitive nature, the exhaust-like sections on the left and right with this laser edged diamond pattern, the central vents peaking from the red center piece of the bottom plate. We wanted to really create this visual area that alluded to our performance intentions with this keyboard. Now, quick note on the USB-C port, it is located on the left corner for cleaner cable management, but the port itself is recessed a little bit deeper than others. Now, of course, our own Pwnage cables all work, and we have tried several third-party cables with good success, but just note your mileage may vary depending on what you choose to customize it with. And finally, coming to the bottom here, where we have our Pwnage logo engraved into the red centerpiece plate, giving it a striking visual look with a touch of color that's hidden away. You will also see that there are 4 rubber feet that are inlaid into the bottom of the aluminum, meaning there are grooves cut for them to sit more snugly into the body to avoid potential of them being ripped off. Now I know all of you want to just hear how the keyboard sounds, so no more waiting. Sound test in 3, 2, 1. As you can tell, we really wanted to deliver a premium sound experience out of the gate, unlike some competitors. We wanted to avoid having you guys tinker with it and doing all these mods just to make it sound pleasant. And how did we achieve this? By holding nothing back. Thick quality, high PBT keycaps, screw-in stabilizers which are pre-lubed, pre-lubricated switches with little to no key wobble, noise dampening silicone under the metal top plate, boron foam under the PCB, and all housed in the thickest, most dense block of aerospace grade CNC aluminum you will find in a gaming keyboard. It's pure bliss. Since I touched on the switches, let's dive into them because they are what make this keyboard the most optimal for competitive gaming. We implemented the latest magnetic Hall effect switches from Gateron with their new dual rail structure that decreases keycap wobble and allows for smoother keystrokes, and they come again pre-lubed to improve the sound and the feel. They have a starting force of only 30 grams, customizable actuation range from 0.1 millimeters up to 4 millimeters, and a default 0.1 millimeter rapid trigger sensitivity. They are the most responsive switches for gaming that you will ever feel. Now, if you've never experienced Hall effect switches, let me break down those numbers a little bit for you. So 30 grams of force means how much pressure is going to be required to actuate the switch itself. For example, a lot of average switches, those mechanical switches, land around 40 to 45 grams. So those are going to be a bit more fatiguing over time, and they won't allow you to flow as easily in game like these will. Now, in terms of the actuation point being from 0.1 millimeter up to 4 millimeter, that means that you can set at what distance your switch activates. For example, standard mechanical gaming switches average around the 2 millimeter mark, and the best can maybe get to about 1 millimeter. Ours can be set as low as 0.1 millimeter. So literally as soon as you start pressing the key, it registers. That's about 10 to 20 times difference in response. And that brings me to the final advantage of our keyboard, rapid trigger. Our board is set to 0.1 millimeter by default. For example, mechanical keyboards have a set return, and you would need to go back all the way up the key to roughly about that 2 millimeter mark for the key to allow you to register another input. Not ours though. The instant you lift your finger off of the key, you can press it again for another input, meaning that strafing, movement, abilities can all be strung together with more accuracy, and that creates a more natural flow in game. On top of all this, you can customize every single key individually. Some can be more or less sensitive depending on your preferences, and don't worry about durability. These switches are rated for 150 million clicks, plus each key is hot swappable, so you can replace them very easily if one of them goes bad. And I'm sure some of you are wondering, how does this compare with Wooting in terms of latency and response? And again, we got you covered here as well. I'll throw some images up, but you'll see we have tighter sensitivity across all the actuation points and an average trigger press latency of 3.07 milliseconds versus their 3.32 milliseconds. Now, while these differences might not be noticeable in game, we still wanted to show our commitment to providing class-leading firmware to our fans. Now, in terms of changing the settings on the keyboard itself, we will have web-based software ready to go for the release, which I will cover in a follow-up video, but for now, I'll give you a quick rundown on how to change the various settings here with the onboard key combinations. And don't worry, a simple manual will also be available if you forget anything I'm about to show you. Now first we'll go over the RGB functions. So your function key and W will allow you to switch colors. So red, green, blue, yellow, purple, cyan, and then back to white. Your function and A key are going to decrease the light output, and function and D will increase it. Now function and S will cycle you through 16 different RGB effects on the keyboard itself, so you can play with these and customize them. And if you choose one that you like, you can also increase or decrease the speed of the effect. So you can decrease the speed with Q and function, or increase it with function and E. Now I'll show you the option to set your individual actuation points. Function plus tab will set you into the configuration mode where everything will turn purple and blue here. Now there's 20 different levels of adjustment in terms of your actuation, again going from 0.1 up to 4 millimeters. Now once in this mode, you don't need to be using the function key anymore. By default, all the lights will be on, that means that you will be adjusting the sensitivity for all the keys. But if you want to individually customize them, just hit the tilde key over here, and this will put you into single key mode. The delete key sets you to the default sensitivity values. Page up increases the sensitivity, and page down decreases the sensitivity. So for example, we have the S key selected here. We can decrease the sensitivity or increase the sensitivity, and you'll see the LED going dimmer or brighter. The brighter it is, the more responsive it is, down to that 0.1 millimeter mark. On the flip side, let's go back to full customization. Again, page down will dim everything, and page up will brighten everything equally. So again, the brighter it is, the more sensitive it is, the closer it is to the 0.1 millimeter mark. Once you're happy with your selection, all you have to do is hit function, and it will bring you back to the normal mode of the keyboard, and you can start using it again. Now, as stated before, rapid trigger is set by default to 0.1 millimeters. It cannot be customized with the onboard controls. In the web-based software, you will be able to dial that in, either increase it or decrease it to your liking. And lastly, you have 3 baked-in profiles. So you can just quickly choose one of those if you don't want to really tinker with individual settings. So again, you're going to be using a function key for this, and your 3 profiles are going to be linked down here. So our fastest profile is set to 0.4 millimeters, and that's going to flash green for 2 seconds. If you choose our normal response, which is 1.4 millimeters, it's going to flash yellow, and then it's confirmed. Or our slowest response at 4 millimeters, that's going to flash red for 2 seconds. You can also cycle through the various profiles by using V. And that concludes our overview of the Zenblade 65 Hall Effect keyboard. If you have any further questions, please reply in the comments down below. Reach out to our customer support team at support@pwnage.com, or you can find me in our community Discord. Again, my name was Lemonade, and we will catch you on the next Fresh Squeeze video. Peace.